Okay, there it is. It's official. The man himself, Stephen Sharif, has broke the silence and actually made another huge post on Reddit. Oh, I can already tell. This one is for the books. Now, I know that I'm a bit late on that. Trust me, guys, I wanted to cover this, but I was so out of the loop because I'm getting literally destroyed at my work right now. It's so frustrating. I'm working close to 12 hours a day, and I come back home, I have time to make like one video, and then I disappear. Okay, I just go back to bed and do it all over again. So now, we finally have some time, and oh boy, we're gonna read it. Now, I know that Casper actually covered it with Jason, but to be honest with you guys, I can't stand to listen to Jason speak one more time. This guy is so obnoxious. Oh my god. And I love Casper. I think Casper is great, and I understand why he's hosting him, because he has the receipts, but at the same time, I can't listen to this MLM guy. He's so cringe. He actually speaks like a toddler. So, we're gonna read it ourselves, and we're gonna make some assumptions. If you know anything from Casper's stream, make sure to let me know. So, let's start real quick. Public statement and update regarding Intrepid Studios. Over the past month, many of you noticed that I've been largely silent. For a community and a team that I spoke with almost daily during development, I know that silence has been unusual and difficult. It was not because I had nothing to say, quite the contrary. Okay, banger start. Let's see what we have here. By the way, this is actually Steven, you can see right here. From the moment this situation began to unfold, I made the decision that the place to defend my team, the company, and the community we built together would not be on Reddit threads, YouTube videos, or social media speculation. It would be in court, where the facts matter and where evidence would determine the outcome. Is this man delusional? I mean, I know for a fact this Jason dude has all the receipts. What is he talking about? We know what he did. And he doesn't have a single proof to actually... You know what? I'm slowly starting to think that Steven isn't malicious. I think he's just an actual, like, nutball. I genuinely believe that he thinks that what he says is correct. I don't know. I don't know. I think he has delusion of grandeur. I think that the things that he say, he actually believes them, which is insane. It's absolutely absurd. Last month, I filed a lawsuit in federal court San Diego on behalf of Intrepid Studios shareholders against Intrepid Board of Directors, led by Chair Rob Dawson, and their affiliated entity, TFE Games Holding, brought claims for breaches of fiduciary duty, violation of federal and state trade secret laws, and wrongful effort to seize company assets, including its valuable IP, through an unlawful and manufacturer inside foreclosure. Well, you let it happen. So, I can't see what you're talking about, my man. You literally gave the company, you literally signed the documents. What is he on about? Is he trying to insinuate that his company was taken by force? No. No, it wasn't the case. No, brother, you sold it. You know what you did. You took the loans and you gave them equity. Like, what are you talking about? My lawsuit is the result of Rob Dawson and his agents trying to dismantle the company I founded and built alongside our company, repurpose Ashes of Creation as a vehicle for their own enrichment, and shift responsibility for Intrepid collapse onto me through an orchestrated public campaign. Bro, they are literally showing all the scummy things you've done until now. They have the receipts, you don't. What? Like, what are we even talking about here? Trying to convince the average Redditor that you're like a saint. Like, nobody believes that. Nobody would ever be delusional enough to believe that. You sold the company, you wanted equity, you had no money to offer, so they refused you, and they took everything for themselves. It makes sense. Like, what are we even talking about here? This man is actually delusional. He needs to be put in an asylum, dude. I'm honest here. It's crazy. Something's wrong with him. Deeply wrong with him. For more than a decade, I poured all my resources, including millions of dollars, my health, and my sole focus into creating Intrepid and Ashes of Creation. Despite this, I resigned from Intrepid, because I was unable to prevent the wrongful decision of the board, especially their plans to summarily fire employees without their legally entitled pay and leaving them and their families without benefits and health insurance with little to no notice. So why did you run away right before everything shut it down? Like, you knew. You knew it was coming. Why did you support everything until that point? You knew the Steam release was wrong. Why didn't you advocate against it? Well, like, there's so many questions that clearly he cannot answer because he's lying through his teeth. Now I've been fighting on behalf of our community and team to protect Ashes from these bad actors who gained control of the board, went rogue, and abandoned both the company mission and their obligation in pursuit of their own interest. Brother, they literally tried to save the company with the Steam funds and do it with a minimal crew, and you were the one who put sticks in their wheels. You literally were the one who did that because you jumped ship before everything just imploded, should I say. He jumped ship, and that's what triggered the entire cascade. It's just so cringe to read this, because they actually tried to save the company with a minimal crew and tried to cut their losses, and Steven left. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. Yesterday, we had our first legal victory with a federal judge in San Diego, where Intrepid is based, issuing a temporary restraining order against Dawson and his associate as court wrote in their order. Defendant Robert Dawson, Ryan, all of these people, okay, along with any of their agents, are enjoined from, enjoined, I never heard this word in my entire life, from accessing, using, selling, distributing, or causing anyone to access, use, sell, distribute, trade secret. That's not a win. Rather, that's the most basic thing ever. So basically, you prevented them from like selling the company or doing whatever. Okay, it's temporary. Who cares? Okay, so you temporarily froze Intrepid Studios. It amounts to nothing. They're still gonna do it because they're gonna win you in court. What are we on about? Temporary restraining order, yeah, nobody cares. I'll come back to that later because the judge comments are very interesting. But let's start with how this all began. It's long, but it's important. You have the facts versus the lies and misinformation that have been spread about me and Intrepid. As alleged in the complaint, from 2024 onward, the board deliberately restrained the company access to operating capital in order to perpetually? What the hell? Perpetually? Oh, damn, I don't know. Okay, justify a foreclosure. The foreclosure was designed to shut down Intrepid and transfer Ashes of Creation to a new entity, TFE Games Holding. Well, he so conveniently neglected the fact that he lost all the investors' money. They had nothing, so they decided to take matters into their own hand, like any reasonable person would. I mean, so conveniently neglected that. Affiliated with a board member, the board did this to enable Dawson and other board members to control and sell the project for their own benefit, while cutting out Intrepid long-term shareholders, lenders, employees, and community. The board also tried to divert revenues owed to Intrepid to the new entity. Basically, he's crying that they took his monthly payment of $50,000 per month, I believe. And now he's just crying about it because they actually gave it to the right people. While disregarding clear creditor rights. Oh god, he's clearly talking about that. I alerted the primary leader of the wrongful plan. Who is the primary primary lender, sorry. Primary lender? Who is that? Preventing bank fraud. Oh, he's talking about him basically snitching to the bank to try and freeze their assets. Yeah, okay, I remember that. Let me be clear. I've received none of these revenues myself, despite lies stating otherwise. Okay, that's a very big claim. If they manage to prove otherwise, Steven is cooked. The board was also behind the termination of all Intrepid employees without the protection they were owed, including pay and benefits. I strongly objected and opposed these decisions along with it. Yeah, so you jumped ship to just put the blame on them, of course. He knew this would happen. He knew this would happen. He just didn't care. He didn't want to take the blame for himself. On January 19, 2026, I resigned from the board when it became clear I could do nothing to prevent the board from its chosen course. Well, why did you give them power in the first place? You could have done that to prevent it. I'm now fighting to protect Ashes of Creation from a board that abandoned the company mission and acted against the interests of its employees, investors, and community. Yesterday, a federal court in the Southern District of California intervened and issued temporary restraining order, blocking TFE and the current board from accessing or interfering. Yeah, he's repeating himself. The order prevents of course. Basically, they can't do anything yet. As long as they're basically, the more abridged version is that they can't do anything until the trial is over, which obviously makes sense, right? So let's see here. By showing that the TFE required trace plaintiff was showing me surprise. Okay, sure. Unfortunately, the damage caused by the board action has already been severe. A company that has spent more than a decade building a game. You see, you should have stopped right there. That's already the problem. A company that spent over a decade to build a game. That is already problematic. That is where the true problem with Ashes lies. Okay? And a community was abruptly shut down. Employees were terminated without pay or benefit. He's just repeating himself. He is literally just repeating himself. Let's see if there's something more interesting here. By the way, this is something important that I always speak about in any video where I criticize someone. If someone constantly repeats themselves, you know that they're lying through their teeth. You know that they're just trying to project, and they try to make themselves like, maybe virtue signaling is more of the right term here. You know they're always trying to do that. It's like the guy who LARPed as Steven Sharif with that game, how was it called? Epitome. Remember that? I covered that not too long ago. This scam game. And he constantly made sure to tell us, oh, this game is real. Trust me, this game is real. You see, it's right in front of you. It exists. It's not a sham. Don't worry, it's actually real. He literally said real like 20 times in this video because he wanted us to think that what he's saying is actually correct. And it wasn't. Obviously, the game is like super cringe and fake and just a complete scam. So, I mean, yeah, let's see what he has here. I am now fully committed to holding the individuals responsible for this tragedy accountable and to prevent... Oh, damn, he even, like, did a thing here. He emphasized that. And to preventing any further harm to the company or its assets and to making the team and the players whole. What was done to our community and the team who part... Again, he's repeating himself. Dude, I'm reading... Is this like a child wrote this? Bro, not even ChatGPT could make this shit up. It's so cringe. He literally repeated himself like 4 times. Oh, the team, they were done poorly. They were done bad by the evil board. Brother, this is not a children's book. Shut the hell up. Get to the point. You had like 7 different paragraphs repeating the same goddamn point. Oh my god. It's so bad. I recognize something else that has been difficult for many of us to watch over the past month. Ashes of Creation always had skeptics and critics. Yeah, you know, I'm one of them. That comes with attempting something ambitious in a space as challenging as MMORPG development. But the past several weeks have felt like a victory lap over many of those skeptics. People celebrating what they believe is the end of a project they doubted for the beginning. What? What? Wait, what? I want to read this again. People celebrating what they believe is the end of a project they doubted from the beginning because they knew they was right. We are vindicated, brother. Of course we celebrate. We earned that right. We've been ostracized for years and called morons, delusionals, and non-believers by all of these, like, I don't even want to call them, like, psychos, okay? They're just weirdos. All of these weirdos, those Reddit roaches that actually called me out and disliked bomb my videos every time I said and I mentioned a red flag about Ashes. Yeah, I'm vindicated, brother. Of course I'm going to celebrate it because I was goddamn right. Hell yeah, I earned that right. What makes that narrative especially frustrating is that the project itself was demonstrating real momentum, real value. What? As outlined in the complaint. This is precisely why Dawson and the board took action to steal the main asset, Ashes of Creation, from Interpret. What real value? The game had nothing. After 10 years of development, all that you had was the most bare bones Unreal Engine 5 slop you could ever imagine. It looked like it was made by one person. I'm sorry, but I've seen single developer project on Unity and Unreal Engine 4 and 5 that were way better than Ashes of Creation. What are you talking? Like, what are we coping about here? When Ashes launched early access in December, the response from the player dramatically exceeded expectation. The game generated nearly 90 million in gross sales. Jesus, that's crazy. That's an insane number. And they had almost no players whatsoever, too. Which just goes to show how much money this game made. People just chose to believe. Reached roughly monthly active players, had approximately 400,000 additional players on the wishlist, and millions of registered accounts. Well, registered accounts, you can't really count that because it could have been from long ago and people just forgot, but 9 millions in gross sales, it's insane. It's gross! Get it? It's insane. It's actually, I don't know who supported that, but you're actually delusional. Most importantly, the game achieved an approximate 76% peak concurrent user retention per 30 days, of course, because only the fanatics played it. Static that is extraordinarily rare in the MMORPG, or who cares? Both before and after the unnecessary and unlawful shutdown, in furtherance of their plan to steal Ashes and discredit me, Dawson and related individuals began working to shift responsibility for these decisions onto me. The misinformation, and again, he's repeating himself. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm gonna skip. I'm not gonna, like, read every single line this leech actually writes because it's just too much for me. It's just too much. He just repeats himself. I hate it when people constantly repeats themselves. It drives me nuts. And by the way, apologies for not reading some of the words correctly. Again, I'm trying my best, but my English isn't the best when it comes to such sophisticated words. I categorically deny accusations suggesting that I mismanaged the company funds. Why did you have a private chef? Okay? Explain this one to me. Literally. I mean, okay. The explanation Steven is going to give for the private chef is that he was a culinary expert. Okay? And it was for everyone. But in reality, sometime he made meals for everyone as far as I got it. But most of the time, it was just for Steven and his husband. So maybe there's that. Caused the company shutdown or engaged in any misconduct. Did those claims attempt to rewrite the events that actually occurred and divert attention away from the decisions the board and its cronies made? I love the word cronies. The truth is that I refuse to participate in actions I believed were unlawful and destructive to the company. Okay, so why did you have a private chef? It's investors, and so why did you lie to the investors? It's employees, so why did you literally bamboozle your entire company? And its future. Yeah, everything is shut down. So clearly he has no idea what he's talking about. Since the shutdown, I have been fighting as hard as I possibly can in court to show that the board actions were wrongful and to fight for the rights and interests of the developers, shareholders, and the player community. There has also been significant speculation online about how Ashes of Creation was financed. Okay, is it gonna answer that? The big question, the elephant in the room? From the beginning, I said that I was personally financing the project, and that statement is accurate. Much of the capital provided to the company came through lenders, who extended financing based on my personal guarantees and the collateralization of my own assets and equity. The risk was mine personally if so he just admitted it took money and he didn't fund everything. What? Bro, this guy is screwed in court. Imagine being this guy lawyer. This man can't shut the hell up. And it's so detrimental because I bet his lawyers are sweating bullets right now. Honestly, if I was this guy lawyer, I would have just quit on the spot. He have the largest hubris I've ever seen in my entire life. He literally tried to convince Reddit people when he knows he has so many targets on his back already and people has receipts on him, and he still won't keep his right to silence. Like, it's insane. You should actually use it. Brother, you have the right to remain silent. Just use it, okay? And any responsible lawyer would tell you, until matter resolved, shut the hell up, okay? Like, literally making this post, oh my god, it's gonna screw him so much. He literally admitted in this paragraph that he did not fund everything by himself. And now you can go back and easily find his comments about funding everything. So he lied. And I get what he's trying to do here. He's trying to pull a spin on us. Basically said, oh, I lend the money from other people, but the risk was mine. So technically, I was funding everything. No, homie. That's not how it works. And no reasonable judge is ever going to take that, like, as a claim. Like, no. Hell no. I put my own financial future on the line to build this project and to keep it alive for as long as possible. As this case progresses, the broader backgrounds and histories of the individuals involved on the board and their prior litigation history will come under scrutiny. Some of the people responsible for these decisions have previously been involved in other legal disputes, describing similar tactics and conflicts as the one they created here. Well, to be fair, you're all MLM guys, of course. You're very familiar with courts and all of that stuff because that's who you are. You're a bunch of, like, oh man, I really wish I wasn't a small creator and I could have said whatever I want. I have so many things to say here, but I'm gonna stop myself. Those records will become part of a broader story of how this situation unfolded and how the board approached its efforts to take control of the company and the game. The court filings on the record now are only the beginning of the information that will emerge in this case. I really hope so. I cannot wait to see the rest and cover it. Internal communities, board records, financial documentation, and other materials will be an issue as the litigation progresses. Those records will provide a far more complete picture of the decisions made, who made them, and how the events leading to the shutdown of Intrepid actually unfolded. As the court put in their order yesterday, the courts find the balance of hardships tips sharply towards plaintiff. Okay, sure, because they only saw what you have brought to the table. Once they see the other side, you're cooked. Like, this is nothing. All of these legal mumbo jumbo doesn't really work on anyone with like even a modicum of brain cells, okay? Like, it literally does not work. When you are the one who making the accusation and trying to sue the other guy, yeah, they're only gonna see your evidence and they're gonna take it for granted. Not for granted. They're gonna just see it and go like, oh yeah, okay, sure, with everything you just showed me, it seems legit. But then they see the other side, and now that's when the real game begins. So he has nothing. He literally has nothing. Filing this case in federal court was not a step I took lightly, but it ultimately became the only path left to bring the facts into the open and take accountability for what has happened against the people reasonable. The court initial order, preserving the company valuable IT, underscores the seriousness of the issues involved. What has been most painful to watch is the attempt to rewrite the story of the project. Well, the people who actually dream, nobody cares. Ashes of Creation was never just a corporate asset to flip. It was 10 years of work by hundreds of developers and the belief community that helped bring it to life. So why did it take you 10 years to do so? Maybe you should start with that. What happened next will ultimately be decided in court. Oh, you bet. But I will not allow the work of hundreds of developers and the belief of millions of players to be erased by a small group of individuals who attempt to take control of something they did not create, as we started to see in San Diego. Yeah, he's repeating himself. Okay, great. So this entire post was one big nothing burger. Literally nothing. He added no new information to the conversation, and that's how you know he's lying through his teeth. Sorry. All he tried to do here is deflect. That's it. That's it. Oh, I'm being personally attacked. Oh, my money's being, distributed unevenly. Oh, I lost my equity. Oh, the board is evil. Homie, we get it. You tried to paint yourself as a hero. Okay. I understand. But for the love of God, can you understand that this is going to be read by a judge? All of this can be easily refuted with just a short amount, a very small amount of evidence in a short amount of time. You're done. You're cooked. I don't know what he's even on about. I think that's why after reading this, I used to think Steven is just like a scammer and a liar. I honestly believe that this man is just stupid. That's my personal belief. I legitimately think that he has so many delusions of grandeur. He legitimately believes the shit that he spews from his mouth. I honestly think that. But at the same time, it is what it is. He grew up wealthy. He doesn't know anything about the real life and how a judge and a court actually operate. And it's gonna be beautiful seeing all of this unfold. I'm gonna follow absolutely everything. But that was his statement. Now, the comments are actually locked. But worry not. I came prepared in advance. The real post was reposted here. And oh boy, 364 comments. Now, we're not going to go through everyone, obviously. We're just going to read through the top ones real quick. I don't want to make this video 2 hours long. So, let's see. I love the blaming in all on the board, even though Steven stated many times that there is no board, nor did he have any investors to answer to. Honestly, what is he trying to achieve here? There's no way he's going to win the community back now, no matter what the outcome of any court battles are. True. That's the new defense when I paid out my wife. Honey, the board forced me to. That's a good one. Exactly. But he's so right about that. That's exactly what I said just a couple of minutes ago. There is nothing here that would convince us or a jury that whatever you say is right. Okay? There's nothing. Nobody's going to believe you. You have nothing to back your claims. And it's so stupid to even claim that. Like, this entire post was just a nothing burger. This clown actually thinks people are stupid enough to buy this. Let's see the comments. Maybe someone in the comments is a hero. I mean, so far, why shouldn't we believe people are dumb? Yeah, true. Let's see. Okay, whatever. People finally start to move on, and he just had to open up his mouth. He couldn't take the fact. He literally can't stand it when people don't mention his name at least once a day. Okay? That's how large this man ego is. You need to understand that Steven only operates in his own self-interest. Nothing. Okay? He literally, if he could have made people make a monument of himself, he would have done that. Believe me. This guy, I bet his entire house is filled with pictures of himself. Not even his husband, just him. Okay? I bet that. Does he really think that we now believe he put his money into it? Yeah, so everyone, no one is buying this. It would make a great underdog story if any of this is true. Steven wins back Intrepid and millions of dollars in legal case and creates the MMO of our dreams. True. That would make one hell of a movie. But the reality is they're just an egomaniac narcissist, pathological liar, trying to avoid accountability to protect their image. Not only that, it reminds me of one of those rich people, like evil rich guys in movies that are just playing with poor people as their toys. They just do whatever they want because they're too bored because they already have everything. So now they're just, you know, toying with and playing with other people. That's what it feels like. He thinks everything is his playground, and I said this ever since I watched that neck rage video that proves that Steven sent messages to other guild members in Arcade to buy them out and make himself the most powerful guild leader ever. He paid him like, what, $100 per week? It was insane. It was crazy. So yeah, he was the RMT. It was insane. Yeah, Jason Caramantis lawsuit. I guess so many people are, advocating for Jason not right now. I understand what he's coming from, but where he's coming from, but this guy's insufferable. I can't stand to listen to him. Steven has to stop his insanity. It's over, man. He can't. He's just delusional. He's way over the line. So, let's see. Oh, gee, no, that's too long. That's a TLDR. Rip Bozo. Okay, that's an upvote for me. He pretty much summarized everything I want to say here. Let's see, maybe there are a few comments here. No, everyone pretty much saying the same thing. Pathological liar, all that stuff. Let's see. I'm confused. Did the foreclosure happen before or after SS resigned? I don't believe anything he says. He said he poured all of his resources, including millions of dollars, but the receipt says he didn't contribute a cent, and instead illegally took money out of the company. Whether or not Dawson is in the wrong, Steven still is. True. That's a very good line here. He's absolutely right. It doesn't matter. Even if the other MLM guys try to like do scammy stuff, Steven is still at fault here. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't automatically absolves him. He secured funding by lying to his investors about deal with Tencent, Microsoft, Blizzard, and even lied to the bank. Whenever he ran out of money, he just asked for more money. He puts loans into his balance sheets as revenue in order to trick the bank into giving him more loans. That, by the way, like this right here, You don't even know how severe that crap is. You have absolutely no idea because you can mess with other people's money. You can mess with investors' money. You can never mess with the banks. Never. And anyone with a rational line of thinking would have told you that. Okay? Anyone with sensible thought can tell you this. So this is probably what screwed him the most. He borrowed money and it had it deposited into a personal bank account and then transferred that money into the company and showed the transactions to Jason to make it look like he was depositing his own money into the company. Oh yeah, there was a name for that. No, I know this tactic. It's called a pyramid scheme. Interesting. That was how he got Jason to give him more money. Dude, he literally pyramid schemed the pyramid scheme guy. It's crazy. He actually managed to do that to the MLM guy. The guy put in no money but strung along his MLM buddies, constantly lying to them about the revenue of the game is making and how much Steven Sharif money was invested into it. Yeah, he's gone. He's cooked. He's literally cooked. And he locked the Fed so we can't call him out. Of course. That's why we have this one. So yeah, it seems like pretty much anything. Grifter's still grifting. Yeah. So I think the comments will just repeat themselves from this point onwards. I'm glad I read them though. It was hilarious and it's so good. I'm so glad to see that people are like-minded. Maybe all the Ashes defenders just ran away. I know that most of them on YouTube deleted their videos and just turned a new leaf, right? But oh man, I loved calling them out. It was so much fun. It was great for me because I love it when they're trying to scatter around and pretend like none of this happened. And then I come in with the receipts and it was so beautiful. Thank God I managed to actually comment on their videos before they removed them. So now I have them on my channel. But regardless, it was great. I loved reading this thread. Even though it was one giant nothing burger, I think it was important to read because it makes you just peer into Steven's mind. Now you know how this man operates, and this is how he ran his company for 10 years. Just think about that. Working under this guy, oh my god, it must have been revolting. So I have absolutely no doubt he's going to be cooked in court. I'm going to wait. These things, unfortunately, take a long time to settle because whenever wealthy people just sue other wealthy people, the legal battle takes ages because usually companies win over you by battle of attrition because they have more resources to pay lawyers and drag this on forever. You just end up settling with them or losing the battle, right? But whenever wealthy versus wealthy people happens in court, it's all bets are off, right? Like there's nothing and no one to spare because they don't care. They have all the money in the world, and they're gonna pay their lawyers. They're gonna drag it out for as long as they need to. And oh, it's gonna take ages to complete. But you can be rest assured, I would be there to cover everything. But at least that's for today, so I guess it is what it is. At the end of the day, Steven clearly is delusional, and I have absolutely no idea how I bought into his charm, you know, in the early days of Ashes, but I'm glad I wisened up pretty fast at least.